I'm happy to do so, Jean, and thank you for inviting me. My name is Julie, last name Cammeron. I came to NTID in 1972. Now it is 2018. So I came with the idea of staying 2 years and then moving back home to Montana. Somehow those 2 years have morphed into 46 years. I can't believe it. No one else can believe it. And the crazy thing is that I still love what I do. Love it. It's a fluke. It was a fluke. I graduated from college in Montana. I didn't know what I was going to do. I thought about working in a women's prison. Now that scares the hell out of me. I didn't know what I was going to do, but at that time I had a roommate that was deaf. Her name was Francine Brown. She was from Michigan. Wonderful woman. She taught me basic finger spelling and sign. And she said, why don't you go to the School for the Deaf and Blind and apply for a job? And I said, I'll never get the job. And she said, just try. So I went up, I applied for the job. Wouldn't you know it, they were crazy enough to hire me. And I've been in the field ever since. The only thing that makes sense is that all the women in my family were teachers. And so I come from this long Irish line of women who all became teachers. The men, interestingly enough, all blue collar. But the women were all educated way back in the day when women were not educated. So that's how I got in, through Francine. And people in the deaf community still know her.
Didn't you say you have a student who also was taught by her or knew her?
I just had a wonderful, wonderful student who I nominated for the Frazina Award, one of the best students that I've ever had. And he was from Michigan, and we got to talking one day, and he said that he knew Francine, and I was like shocked, blown away. Crazy world, close world, yeah. Well, first, let's go back. I started in 1972. I came here with my class from Gallaudet. I went to Gallaudet for the 2-year education program. We all came as a group to visit NTID. We drank a little bit too much the night before, so I was taking a nap in the fireplace lounge. Someone came up to me and they said, Liz O'Brien. I didn't know who she was, wants to see me. So I said, okay, so I put on my makeup, combed my hair, went over to see Liz. We talked. She was very interested in hiring me. I thought, why? So really, NTID found me. Then later on, I don't remember, it's a blur. I think later on I came back for maybe 2 days of interviews, met with Dr. Castle and all those people, and I was hired. And then later on, I went to see Dr. Castle, and I said, I have a lot of book knowledge about deaf people, but I don't really know many deaf people. So I said, I'm interested in living in the dorms. He said, well, why not? That was Bill Castle. You had an idea, if he could, he would try to make sure that it happened for you. So I lived in the dorms. I started a tutoring center in my apartment. Lived first in Cape Gleason, later on moved to Peterson. Tutored every night, plus worked all day long. So I really worked mostly about 18 hours a day for 4 years straight. Kind of crazy life, but I loved it.
Now, that tutoring center was the forerunner of the NLC, right?
That tutoring center, we hired both faculty and students to work in the tutoring center. I think it was the prototype for our present NTID Learning Center, so I'm very proud of that. I hired people like Sam Infantino, Bob Sadansky, Pat Sullivan, and Dina Cola. So it was a good group. My first impression, I didn't have an office. I remember sitting in Florine Hughes's office on a piece of wood over a garbage can. Maybe I had an office downstairs in the basement, but I didn't like it. I wanted to be with all the other people, so that was my first office, was sitting on a garbage can. I didn't care. Well, I don't even know how it happened, Jean. I lived in the dorms, and at some point they needed a person to help deaf students on the weekends, especially when they OD'd on drugs or whatever. And so I said, I'll do it. And so they would call me. We didn't have cell phones at that time. They would call me, and I would answer the phone, and they'd say, so-and-so is in trouble, you need to go and help them. The one memory, and I wish that a friend would help me find that person, there was this guy, I won't say the name now, but he had come here for Gallaudet weekend. And I don't know what happened, but the Gallaudet students took oven spray, sprayed it into a garbage bag, and put it over his head and tied it. They called me, they rushed him to the hospital. He was in bad shape, and then he came to my office when he was released from the hospital. He came and he said, I can't stay here. And he was from West Virginia, always wondered what has happened to him. Well, I don't know, somewhere in there, I had this idea. Again, I went to Dr. Cass. I said I would like to bring famous people, or not so famous people, to campus. He said, go right ahead, try. So we started out small and inviting people that were not that famous, and we got bigger and bigger and more successful. And pretty soon, it was the whole community that was working together on bringing these people in. We had wonderful interpreters that wanted to work with me. We had Dr. Castle introducing the speakers. We would invite people out to dinner with the speakers after. Anyway, in 15 years, my most favorite people were, well, Baryshnikov, Peter Jennings came 3 times. Normally he charged, I think, $75,000 for each presentation. He came here 3 times for free, no charge at all. He called NTID his second home. Another favorite, Louise Fletcher from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Academy Award winner, deaf parents signed her acceptance speech. She was another favorite. Wonderful people. I also had some people that were not my favorites, but I won't talk about that here. Well, that's a hot button issue question. The biggest change is the morale. In the old days, I don't know why, maybe it's because we were smaller, but we were work colleagues and we were friends. Now everyone kind of works in isolation. We don't know what other people are doing. They don't know what we're doing, and more importantly, it seems like no one really cares. The other change never happened before is people are split. So we have the deaf hearing split. We have the old young split. we have the cochlear implant and the ASL split. So all these people think, oh, my way is the right way. And my philosophy is there's no one right way. If there is, they need to talk to God, because I'm not sure anyone else has figured that out. So that saddens me deeply. And I don't know how anyone's going to, one person can't do it. It has to be a whole group of people that make an effort to bring back civility to this wonderful, wonderful institution. Well, I think to be good at anything, you first have to really want to do it and enjoy doing it. By nature, I think I'm a shy person, but for some reason in the classroom, I'm not. I don't know why. I have taught many courses over the years. Sociology, psychology, social problems, making a difference, love, marriage, and the family. Now I'm teaching English courses, which is pretty new to me. I think I've been doing this now for 6, 7 years, I don't know. That's the hardest job so far, because these courses that I'm teaching are developmental English courses, and many of the deaf students think they can never learn English, so they kind of turned off inside. They don't even really try. Some don't really even try that hard, and that bothers me a lot. Yeah. But I think if you love what you do, I think you have to be really, really, really well organized. I think you have to enjoy writing curriculum materials. I like to do that. I like to put the pieces together. It's a puzzle for me. I enjoy doing that more than most people would guess. The biggest challenge recently has been the split with people. I don't like to see that at all. It bothers me. Interestingly enough, I don't see it with the students so much. I don't see it with the students. I see it mostly with the faculty. That's something to think about. Other challenges, of course, signing. I learned at Gallaudet, I learned SimCom. I did not learn ASL. ASL is something relatively new. So because I use my voice, I will never be an ASL person, because I don't think, my opinion, I don't think you can use ASL and also use voice. So that's a big challenge, and continues to be a big challenge. The other challenge is some students have such sloppy signs that it's very hard to understand them, and then they say it's your fault. I'm not sure that anyone could really understand them. Oh wow. I have many, many good memories of NTID. Let's see, where do I start? I think, first of all, the special speaker series, meeting all those fabulous people, having dinner with them, talking to them, getting autographs from them, knowing that they really impressed our students. That was great. Educational travel, where we went on wonderful trips and learned so much about the world. I would be the leader of the group, and then I would have a teacher like Slutsky that would come in and lead us through the Van Gogh show in Toronto. Those are memories that you will never, never forget as long as you live. What else? I can't think of other. I think just being in the classroom, when you have a good group of students that really care about their education, nothing better than to see the light go on and they're like, they understand what you're trying to talk about. It's been a good ride. Well, I was surprised. Way back, I received the RIT Award for Outstanding Teaching, the Eisenhart Award. I never thought that I'd get it. I'd been nominated many times, or several times, and then got it. I was surprised by that. Later on, I'd be nominated again and again, and I would always turn it down because I didn't think that it was right for people to win more than once. So that was good. I'm proud of how I helped individual students that were in trouble. I went out of my way. There were a few of us, like Vern Davis. When a kid would have a problem, we would help. Now you don't see that much anymore. People stay in their offices. They don't go outside and help on the weekends or nighttime. So. Oh, well, I hope that they remember me as strict, fair, funny. I try to always find some humor in the classroom. I think they will remember me. Well, they tell me, when I talk to my students from the past, they always remember the year that I taught them, what I taught them, and some things that I told them. It makes me crazy that they can remember that far back. So I think I've made an impression with at least some students. Wow. Well, the most important thing is the division has to end. You can disagree with people without being mean. You can realize that everyone has their opinion, but there are certain common principles. We all should be here for education first and not your own agenda. So I think people need to leave their agenda at the door. They come in, do the job of teaching young deaf kids and preparing them for the real world so that when they graduate, wow, they can actually go out and find a job and do well for the rest of their life. That was the original mission of NTID, and some people have lost track of that mission. Well, I don't even know if I should tell this story, but there was one time that I was teaching a course called Love, Marriage, and the Family, and part of that course was talking about human sexuality. So I'm a big believer in show and tell, kind of. So I had to go to Wegmans and buy all these birth control things. It's a true story. So I bought, I can't remember. What's the sign for condoms. I bought spermicide. I bought gel. I bought whatever. And then I think I had my own whatever. I also had birth control pills, whatever.
And your own groceries, right?
Okay. And I had another bag full of groceries. So I go up to the cash register and I put this stuff all out. And here is the birth control. And I knew that would be charged back to NTID. And here is my groceries. So I said to the woman, stupid me, I said, this stuff is for work. Well, it made me sound like I was a hooker. The woman looked at me like, work? I need separate checks? Well, no one has really let me live that story down. I don't know, there are other stories too, I don't remember.
I remember that you had the TV remote instead of your cell phone, and your keys were a problem, the key ring that was circular.
Oh yes, one day I came to work. How did that work? I came to work and I went to pull out my cell phone from my purse, and I had thrown in my TV remote from home. Obviously, I didn't have my phone with me that day. That was a little embarrassing. Another crazy story. I used to wear these long skirts, and somehow I went to the bathroom and I got the skirt caught, and so I was walking around with all this material, and this deaf student followed me, wouldn't let me go. I don't know. He saw more than he should that day. Just enjoy yourself, have a good time. And one other thing, I have this thing about people paying back, giving back. A lot has been given to you throughout the years. I don't even have to count the ways that life has given you many good things. Now it's your turn to give back in any way possible. That would be my motherly advice. I'm sure. Brenna, my daughter is now 32. She works for the BBC in New York City. She went to RIT, fighting and screaming all the way, didn't want to come to this damn school. And then she went to Syracuse University. She loved RIT, by the way. 3 days later, came home. I love RIT. But she saw me read the newspaper every morning. She saw magazines in the house. She saw me trying to figure out how to teach a concept. Yeah, I think that's why she is, and we won't tell her this, but now she is very smart, and she's very able to do her job well, and I think it's all that early training.
And there seems to be some master puns that go on between the two of you.
Yes, both of us are big punsters. I'm not sure that deaf students know puns. I think puns it's wordplay. It's very hard to explain wordplay, but yeah. Well, Jean, I think it's been one of the best experiences of my lifetime. I can't really pick a favorite. So lucky that Jerry Buckley gave me this opportunity. The most interesting thing, I've been here for 46 years. I have learned so much. The people of this place are really what have made it great. I don't care about all the federal money. Well, I do, but the federal money helps us keep good people. But really, it's the people, it's the rich history with the mother cells of the world, the Haggertys. I don't want to start naming everyone because I'll miss someone, but the people have really, they're so funny. They have, and it goes back to the days when we were all family, and they remember. And I think we need to really work hard to bring that back. So I'm looking forward to the reunion, seeing the students in the past, they know. And I'm hoping that when they come back, that each of them will make a special effort to go back, to contact their old faculty and say thank you. Because we don't hear that word enough anymore. Thank you. You did a lot for me. I will never forget you. We're not doing it for the money, believe me. We're doing it for you. It feels strange. It feels strange to look back on my career and to be interviewed. But it's been a good ride, and I want to thank the powers to be that are out there, that I was able to work at such a fantastic place for so long. And I just hope we can get some of our small problems fixed soon.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.